Sources are now indicating to Times Now that the number of Chinese casualties could be almost as much as 50. This includes dead soldiers along with injured soldiers. They were seen being carried away in stretchers. We also understand that choppers then came to pick them up. My colleague Srinjoy Chowdhury with the details. Srinjoy, what are our sources telling us about the number or the extent of Chinese casualties, which also includes dead and seriously wounded?
Yes, that exact division is not known, but the Indian soldiers saw about almost 50 soldiers being carried away in stretchers, and then there were helicopters that came in, and these helicopters picked up all these. If they were only walking wounded, they would not have needed stretchers. They would have not needed helicopters to take them back to hospital. So clearly there has been damage on the other side also. That's even more reason why there should be a serious amount of introspection and de-escalation on both sides. The important point to note now is that the Indian casualties have not gone up. That is really the important point. It is not more than 20 as we had originally said. In fact, there are still 4 who are critical, but of the 20 we know that 1 is an officer, 3 are JCOs, junior commissioned officers who are not officers, and 16 men, privates. This is what we are hearing. 1 officer dead, 3 JCOs dead, and 16 Jawans who have died. This is the casualty figure of 20. It remains 20, and that's a significant thing, that there has not been an escalation, an increase in the number of casualties. What we are also learning is that several of these 20 who passed away, who died in battle, they were injured, of course, and after that it was a case of hypothermia. More than their injuries, they fell victim to hypothermia is what we are hearing. Very unfortunate, but then things being, it was -6 degrees there, so these are things that are likely to happen. So that is really the first point. Chinese casualties up to about 50 approximately is what we are hearing. This includes fatal casualties and also those injured. India will not deliberately also not speculate on how many are fatal and how many are not.
Right.
The fact that there are 50 casualties is enough. The other important point, Athar, is the fact that of those wounded, 4 remain critically wounded. But there is a belief that some of those who are wounded will be able to go back to their units next week. So if some of those wounded can go back next week, then it's clear that they are in reasonably good shape. So the worry is just those 4 critically injured soldiers.
Right.
And we hope they get well soon.
All right, Srinjoy, thank you for those inputs and those details about the figure of Chinese casualties that our assessment has come up with.